guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I have the announcement for the next 48-hour BookoplAthon. So if you guys have never participated in the BookoplAthon before, it is a readathon that is based on my TBR game, Becca's Bookopoly, where I roll dice and move around this Monopoly inspired board and have to read books based on the prompts that I land on. Now, this is going to be, I think, the 5th round of the BookoplAthon overall, and it is going to be the 3rd 48-hour round. If you have participated in the last 48-hour BookoplAthon, I'm happy to let you guys know that this is going to be exactly the same. We are once again doing a 48-hour live readathon. So if you are new and didn't participate last time and don't know exactly what this readathon entails, I am going to be breaking it all down for you in this video. But the first thing that you need to know is when this is happening. This readathon is going to be starting at midnight on the 21st of May and ending at 11:59 p.m. on the 22nd of May. This is going to be happening in the UK time zone, which we are in our summer time zone at the minute, which is BST. And because this is going to be completely live, it is important that you follow along in BST where you can. As with previous rounds, there are going to be 8 total prompts for this readathon. You are under no obligation to complete all of them. As you guys will know if you participated before, and as I will get into, rule bending, prompt bending, smushing things into prompts that they shouldn't normally necessarily fit is all allowed. But when I make this readathon, I want to make it so that people who read a whole ton have enough prompts to fill the 48 hours, and people who read a little bit slower or are a little bit more chill with readathons can also participate and have fun. So as usual, you are only going to be getting 2 prompts right at the end of this video, so you cannot plan ahead for this 48 hours. You have to be picking books as the readathon is happening, and the rest of the prompts are going to be revealed throughout the course of the readathon every 12 hours as the readathon is happening. So you get your first 2 prompts at the end of this video. Your second 2 prompts you will get at midday on the 21st of May. The third set of prompts you will get at midnight on the 22nd of May, and your final 2 prompts you will get at midday. Just like last time, the roll drops are going to be happening during the live sprints that make up this readathon. If you aren't around when the rolls are dropping and you need to catch up and see what they were, they are also going to be posted onto the readathon Twitter, which is at Becca's Bookopoly. This will happen like 5 to 10 minutes after they've happened live. And we do also have a Discord for the readathon as well. Now, the Twitter and the Discord are not going to be as active during the 48-hour round as they are during the month-long round, just because that is a lot of platforms to manage during just like a 2-day readathon. But all of the prompts and like resources and things like that will be posted to both the Discord and the Twitter, just so that you guys can access them easily. On the Twitter and during the live shows, they will be video files, and on the Discord they will just be like little graphics that tell you guys what the prompt is, so you can just reference them easily. The rules for this readathon, they're pretty much on. I just really like this readathon to be a little bit of an event where everybody has fun. I had such great feedback after the last round, and I pretty much just want to keep everything the same this time. So there is no limit on what you can read to fulfill the prompts. All formats are applicable: ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels, manga, university research papers. If you can make them fit the prompt, it's really just whatever you want to read. Because it's such a short readathon as well, any books that you're currently reading can be pulled in. So if one of the rolls that comes up like halfway through the readathon fits a book that you're already halfway through, you can then just use that book to fulfill the prompt, even if it's one that you started before the readathon began. All prompt bending is allowed as well, so you can use like hybrid genres. If fantasy comes up as a prompt, you could use like a contemporary book that has a tiny fantastical element as opposed to a book that is solidly fantasy. Just anything that you need to do to be able to shoehorn your books into the prompts is fine. And something that I definitely want to stress is absolutely do not feel pressure to complete all 8 of the prompts throughout this readathon. Do not feel pressured to stay awake as well. I will not be staying awake for the entire 48 hours. Even if you have to do just like little 2-hour naps so that you catch a little bit of everyone's segment of the readathon, make sure that you are getting rest and do not make yourself suffer just to fulfill the prompts. Like double up, triple up wherever you want to. Something that I find really fun is to see if I can find one book that fits both prompts from every roll drop. So for the first 2 prompts that are revealed, like you could maybe try and find just one book that does fit both prompts. And it is of course absolutely fine as well in terms of doubling up to, if you've started a book and the next prompt also fits that book, you can still use that book to fulfill the next prompt. Now there are no like minimum requirements or like pass rate for this readathon. I just really want everyone to have fun and do whatever they want and whatever they can. What I aim for, like, I will probably read 2, maybe 3 books throughout this, but what I like to aim for is 1 book for every roll drop. So 1 book every 12 hours that fulfills like 1 of the 2 prompts that are dropped together, if that makes sense. Now for the schedule and the details of how exactly this readathon is live. So essentially the whole 48 hours is going to comprise of 4-hour blocks of reading sprints, each hosted by a different person, and the idea is, fingers crossed, that they all overlap seamlessly so that there is not a second of this readathon that is not live. It went really well last year. It went off so smoothly that I feel like I'm jinxing it a little bit trying to do it again, but I do have 10 amazing co-hosts who have helped me to bring this readathon to you guys once again. So I would of course like to extend a big thank you to everybody who is going to be hosting a section of this readathon, but I'm going to be giving you the schedule in BST. There will be a time conversion chart in my description box that you guys can print out. It does not have every time zone on it, and if your time zone is not on it, then Google it please, because I think that there are at least 5 time zones on the table that I made last year already, and I still had questions asking for conversions. Like, Google is right there. As well as that, there is going to be a playlist linked in my description box that eventually, as we get close to the readathon, because at the minute we're still 1 month out, we'll have all of the live shows in order. What you'll be able to do is just open up the playlist as the readathon starts, and then you can just keep it open and it will just keep playing seamlessly throughout the readathon. Each host also has the freedom to plan whatever they want within their 4-hour block. So aside from just reading sprints, you will also probably have like self-care sessions, quizzes, games, and all of that good stuff, as well as another like whole range of amazing co-hosts. So the readathon will kick off on my channel, and I will be hosting the first slot that will run from midnight until 4 AM BST. After that, Vish from Books Will V will take over with the 4 AM until 8 AM BST slot. We will then have Jade from JD Ray Reads running from 8 AM BST until 12 PM BST. After that, Aaron from Booked and Busy will take over from 12 PM until 4 PM BST. Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction will pick up after that from 4 PM until 8 PM BST. And our final host for Saturday is going to be Mel from Mel Reads at 8 PM until midnight BST. Kicking us off on Sunday, we have Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin from midnight until 4 AM BST. We then have Rye from Rye's Reading Corner from 4 AM until 8 AM BST. Meg from Meg with Books will be hosting from 8 AM until 12 PM BST. Maddie from Book Browsing Blog will then take over from 12 PM until 4 PM BST. Steph from Steph Loves will then carry us from 4 PM until 8 PM BST. And then the final 4 hours of the readathon from 8 PM until midnight BST on the Sunday night will once again be back on my channel. I know that that is a whole ton of information, but like I said, there will be a playlist linked down in the description box. Easiest thing for you to do is when the readathon starts, just click on it and it should just carry you through the readathon essentially, and there is all of that information like time conversion charts available as well. All of my co-hosts will be tagged down in the description box if you want to go ahead and subscribe to them so that you'll get notifications when they are going live, just to make that element a little bit easier as well. And then the final thing that we have to cover in this video is of course your first 2 prompts. So the prompts are as usual being generated from 2 different boards. We have the 2020 BookoplAthon board, which is super vague. This was the first readathon board that I made, so it has prompts like a book set in the past, a book with POC rep, a small book, dark cover, that kind of thing. And then the second board is the 2021 board, which is still quite vague, but it is a little bit more specific and dependent on vibe. So you have things on here like a book that gives you like cute vibes or opulent vibes or an opulent cover, and also like a book inspired by history and that kind of thing. Still pretty generic, but just like pointing you in a little bit more of a direction. So there are going to be 4 roles from each board. You can follow along with a board. You can pick a board and decide that you have to fulfill the prompt from that board. You can just mix and match, decide which prompts sound good for you. You don't even have to do a prompt from every roll drop. You could do like the first 2 and then like the last 2 if you wanted to. And like I said, something that I find fun is trying to combine the prompts from each roll drop to fit 1 book. Now at the minute I don't currently know what my strategy is going to be for the 48 hours. Last year I read a very short book and more of a normal size book for every roll drop, and I I think I did actually manage to get through 8, although the books did get smaller as the readathon went on because I got tired. So I think I'm either going to attempt that again, or I'm going to do the thing where I try and combine both of the prompts. But without further ado, let us get into your first prompt and what I might read for it if I decide to go with this one. So this one is the 2020 BookoplAthon board. We did use this for the last 48-hour round as well, and our last roll for the last 48-hour round was a book set in the present, so that is where we'll be starting this time. First roll is 11. And that one is a small book or a book under 300 pages. So prompt number 1 from the 2020 BookoplAthon board is a super easy one and a super nice one for a 48-hour readathon, and that is to read a small book or a book under 300 pages. So if I decide to go with this one, which I mean I probably will because it's an easy one to check off, I might read Rat Queens Volume 8, The God Dilemma. This one is an adult high fantasy comic series. This one is the last published one. They're possibly not coming back. This could be the last volume ever. I haven't seen any definitive information on it, so I think it would be really satisfying to knock out a book really quickly, of course, but also to finish a series. Now for the 2021 BookoplAthon board, we have not used this one together for a 48-hour round, and so we are going to be starting on go. 2021 BookoplAthon board, roll number 1. 8. Which is God. So this is a book that features gods as main characters or centers anything like religion or god-like themes. And then the first roll from the 2021 BookoplAthon board was one of those ones that are a little bit more open to interpretation, as this one was God. So the idea behind these spaces was like main characters, so a book that has gods as characters, but I understand that not everybody reads fantasy, so this can also be interpreted as a book that has a lot of religious themes, like I know some thrillers do. Contemporaries often focus on religion. We also have like maybe cult elements if you're into your thrillers or your horror, or god-like characters in terms of things like sci-fi. You might have artificial intelligence that is like God, as we see in series like Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So whichever way you want to interpret this, you can. But for me, I will probably be going down the fantasy romance retelling route, and a possible one is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. This one is contemporary fantasy romance, I think, and I know that Persephone is having trouble with her goddess of spring powers, where plants are shriveling instead of thriving, and Hades owns like a gambling empire. That's all I know about this one. It is 340 pages. Oh, the text is quite small actually, so I'm not sure if this will be the one that I'm going for, but it's definitely an option that I think I could do in like a day. So there you have it. That is all of the information that I think you need to know about the next round of the 48-hour Bookoplathon. I will be updating the Twitter with all of the information, putting the first 2 rolls on there, and also in Discord if you guys want to join either of those so that you have just like easy access. I know a lot of people complain about having Twitter when it comes to readathons and not having Twitter. You don't need to have Twitter to be able to see Twitter, and I mean, if you can't click on a link to view information, what more can I do for you, really? But once again, a huge thank you to all of the hosts that are going to be making this readathon possible for you guys. Please do head into my description box, check out all of the information there, all my wonderful co-hosts, give them a watch, maybe subscribe. And aside from that, guys, I guess I'll see you for the next 48-hour Bookoplathon. Let me know down in the comments if you're excited, and of course please don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you wanna. If you head to my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as a link to my Bookish Kindle website, the Instagram for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today, guys. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.